Hey there Titans, welcome to another video. In this one we'll focus on the web survey range. So where do you find this awesome feature? Well, it's under the survey here, and then if you click on it you've got something called range. So let me just highlight this for you here. This is the one. And what you want to do is you want to drag it across, and I'll explain a couple of the key elements. First of all, it's a range that you can give between 1 and 10. So there are actually two values in here. So what you want to do in Salesforce, you want to actually at least create two fields. So in my case, I've done minimum and maximum. And these are the two values I'm going to push into using the range element itself. And then you can literally give it a value here. So for example, this can be how much would you pay for parking? It's a really random question, but whatever, we'll play with it. So here you can go ahead and give it the minimum value. You can be 5 if you want, it's up to you, but 1 to 10 is good enough for this one. So, and then you can give it a default value, which can be 5, and then the max value can be 8, for example. What does that mean? If I click save and preview, you will see that obviously 5 is a minimum value and 8 is the maximum value here. And then if we go back, so I'm just going to get rid of the default, so that's it, we'll keep it as is. And then you can display the value label if you want, and then you can set prefix. So for example, I can just say $, and then the postfix can be $, because obviously the more it goes, the more dollars it is. Then from there on you can set conditions, animation, metadata. I've always said it, if you're ever confused about what these do, click on the I here. That's there to help you. We'll throw up a video, show you what those cause and effect really are. Okay, so now without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and create myself some data. So what we're going to do is just going to create a contact. And we'll call this one first name. Get the next one, which is going to be called last name. And that's it. So we're just going to create a contact who's going to basically give us the minimum he's able to pay for our parking and max. As I said, it doesn't matter. It's just a simple use case just to show you how this actually works. And then I'm going to get a button, and then we will call this one button submit. Now, if we go to configure action, Salesforce action, configure Salesforce integration, we're going to set up a push and then create new. So here we are. I'm going to choose account. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to choose contact because that's what we're creating. And in the mapping, last name will be given to last name, first name will be given to first name. Now the minimum and maximum here, I just need to refresh my metadata because I've just added it, so we will do that. So if you've added the field and you can't find it, be sure to click refresh metadata and you will see the fields available. Alright, so now in the mapping here, if I now look for minimum, I can match it to my minimum, which is what we give you here. So here it is. How much would you pay for parking minimum, like that? And then maximum, how much would you pay for your parking maximum? So just to give you a recap, what I've done is I've mapped 4 fields. Obviously some of them are pretty obvious to you by now, which is these two, first name and last name. That's okay, but what I want to focus on is these two here, minimum and maximum. So 2 fields are created in Salesforce, minimum, second one maximum, and I've pushed my minimum and max value over there. And that's all there is to it. And if you click apply, click close, and if you were to do a get, you would bring it obviously from minimum maximum directly back into the element itself. Click apply, apply, and then let me see if I actually did assign it or not. No, I did assign it. Looks good. Click save, publish. Alright, so here I'm going to call this one min max contact, and I'm going to say minimum to be 3, and then max to be, let's say, 7. And once I submit it, the data is going to go back into Salesforce. Let me show you the output on how it works. So here we are, integration logs. There's my contact that's just been created. And as you can see, the values that have been pulled across, 3 and 7, and there is my contact that's just been created. And yeah, and that's about it really. That's pretty much how you create the rating scale. Now, obviously, you might want to ask, well, how do I do the get side of things? So in here, we've obviously got a value of 3 and 7 respectively, and I want to be able to bring that back into Titan Web. So I'm going to show you exactly how that works now. So let's go ahead. So in this case, I'm just going to run a very, very simple get to show you how it works. So we'll create a new, we'll bring back the contact, and the condition is going to be contact ID. So let me just say this one will be on load. That's why we're going to do it. Let me just get rid of this here, and we'll create a brand new one. So create new, we'll choose contact. In the condition here, let me see. Right, so from here, we will go ahead, contact ID equals, and I'm just going to use the contact that I just created, which is this one here. We'll just use the ID. And then in the mapping, just like you map the push, you map the get at the same time. So this one will go minimum from here and maximum back here. And this is if a customer is coming back and you want to preload their data so they don't have to choose again. It's a great functionality. I'm going to set this one on load so it shows up straight away. Click apply. And then as you can see, there is my contact that's been created. So right now it's 1 and 10. And if I preview this, hopefully it should be 3 and 7, just like that. All right, so now we just preloaded the get based on whatever their value was. So previously, go ahead and have a look here. There's a value of 3 and 7. And now it's obviously it's the same value that we've pulled back in here as well. And one final point, which is the styling side of things. If you look on the fill icon here, it's always going to be available here for you. Right here, every time you click on any element, and from there you can either fix the root, the prefix, the postfix, change the side line, change the active line, the handle, the label, and the bubble. So a quick example is if I go to the bubble here, let's say I change the color to be green, and now you can see it's changed to green. So all the different attributes for styling are available on the styling menu, and that's how you do it.